When are tickets for the 2026 World Cup going on sale? We have some very important clues. Dímelo, mi gente, travel football fan here. I'm helping fans save money and travel the 2026 FIFA World Cup. So, it is the most asked question in my comments, in the lives, in the streets, wherever I go. When are these tickets going on sale? If you've been with me for a while, you would remember that I published a video last year where I indicated my prediction for when these World Cup tickets would go on sale. I said it would be in August of 2025, based on the fact that we have an expanded tournament, based on the fact that it will be 11 months out from the start of the 2026 World Cup, which is in June of 2026. And also, it's right after the FIFA Club World Cup. So I predicted that there will not be any sales of World Cup tickets, except right now with the hospitality ones. That is separate. But for regular tickets, it will happen after the Club World Cup because, of course, they didn't want to cannibalize both tournaments. We are now in 2025, February. We don't have exact dates on when the World Cup ticket sales process will begin, but we do have this important clue. A couple of weeks ago, the Vancouver FWC 26 Instagram page indicated that tickets for the 2026 FIFA World Cup would go on sale late 2025. What does late 2025 mean? I know they didn't really give any other specifics. They didn't really indicate, a date range or anything like that. So we're going to have to put on our investigative caps here in order to try to figure out where exactly those dates might land. All right, so when you do a Google search as to what does late 2025 mean, it indicates that it could be a date range from September all the way to December. Not really useful for us, right? So we're going to have to go into more specifics. But first off, I do want to indicate that my initial prediction of August appears to now be incorrect. Again, if we take this definition of late 2025 by the Google search. So, when can it be? Well, we also have to start talking about what does this sales process is going to look like, because quite frankly, there are also no details as to how the sale of these tickets going to be. We already have some potential clues from the Club World Cup. So FIFA decided to partner with Ticketmaster to sell its tickets for the FIFA Club World Cup here, which is being hosted here this summer in the United States. And so the initial fear out of what it appears to be a successful operation of sale of tickets is that FIFA might lean again with Ticketmaster to sell its tickets for the World Cup. Although the chances of that has indeed increased by virtue of them partnering for the FIFA Club World Cup, I still do not think that Ticketmaster will be selling the tickets for the 2026 World Cup because FIFA has to ensure that the sale of its product, of its prized possession of the World Cup, is accessible globally, notwithstanding the issues with the visas that we're currently dealing with and that I've discussed at length in my various pieces of content in my socials. FIFA still has to ensure that the ticket sales are equitable to all of the regions because Infantino still needs to win some political campaigns in order to be FIFA president in the FIFA Congress. So, with that out the way, assuming that FIFA will indeed basically run it back as they've done with the ticket sales process in Qatar, in Russia, Brazil, so on and so forth, we're going to assume that FIFA will resell its tickets through its own platform. So, what does that first sales phase look like? Now, if you recall the 2022 Qatar World Cup ticket sales process, which, by the way, I did create a YouTube video about that, so go ahead and check it out over here. But basically, the first sales window was a blind sales window. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that you can purchase tickets to a game in a particular city or stadium, I should say, because this was Qatar, without knowing which teams were going to play in that game. So, the obvious advantage of buying a ticket in that first sales window is that you're looking to buy tickets, say, to the final or to the inaugural, right? Or if you just want to go to games in your city, you don't care which team is playing, you just want to get those tickets to that particular game. Okay. For those of you that want to follow a specific team, maybe it's not advantageous to participate in the first sales window for those specific tickets, although you can apply to say, hey, I want to follow my team. I don't know where they're going to play yet, but I want to follow my team. So you're going to, when you submit the application, you're going to indicate to follow your team. Again, this was from the Qatar 2022 ticket sales process. We do not know how the ticket sales process is going to be for 2026. So, this is subject to change. Okay. All right. Back to the process. So this first sales window is intended to be one where you're pursuing mostly the knockout games, maybe the inaugural of the three host nations, right? In this case, USA, Canada, and Mexico. And basically, for anything else, you really don't care which games they're going to. So we do not need to have the teams qualified or the teams or the groups determined in this first sales window. Okay. Which then means if we open up a calendar, we know that in September, we still have World Cup qualifiers for around the world. Heck, for October, we also have World Cup qualifiers happening for CONMEBOL, I believe for UEFA, UEFA, the European zone. Africa will also have qualifiers as well. So most teams are going through September, October, and even into November playing World Cup qualifiers, probably decisive games, which will determine whether a team makes it or not. At that point, FIFA would probably be comfortable initiating this first sales window because what they're thinking is, okay, we've always done this before. That first sales window, we just sell the tickets. Hey, you want to go to a game? Here you go, right? Here's the opportunity to do so. And then reserve the second sales phase to after the draw, which again, we expect that draw to happen in December of 2025. No official information or confirmation has come out about the World Cup draw for 2026 happening in December. But again, with everything lining up the way it did for example, the FIFA Club World Cup, which also the draw happened in December 2024. This is why I'm assuming the draw for 2026 will happen this year again in December. So that basically leaves December out of the picture. September, it might be a little too early, but I would not be surprised if indeed they do start the sales in September. More than likely, it's going to be October, November. World Cup qualifiers are going to be in full swing. The last, get in or go home type of matches are going to be happening. The excitement will be there. And at that point, fans will be probably much more confident beginning to book their travels because by that point, you will be able to book your travel to the United States, Mexico, Canada, or if you're here in these three countries, book your travel within, because that is within the range to be able to book ahead of time towards the summer 2026. And at that point, FIFA says, you know what? This is perfect opportunity to launch that first sales window of tickets for 2026. That's it. That's all the information that is available right now regarding when tickets will go on sale for the 2026 World Cup. But at least you know that it's probably going to be sometime around October, November. It might be as early as September, but I really do think October, November, which means you really need to start saving money now. If you haven't started saving money now, get on that right away. Open up the high yield savings account. Start pouring resources into that. Okay. If you're planning to travel for the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup, try to limit your expenses and or try to get travel rewards points or cash back from your travels and your expenses there. So in that way, you have a bucket of money available for, when you're buying the tickets for the World Cup. Also, have that money ready to book your travel. Okay. Especially for flights, for hotels, you can and will be able to start booking them in advance in time for 2026 for June and July, unless these travel companies start putting blackout dates on when we can go ahead and purchase those flights or hotel rooms or book that car rental. So that we will have to wait and see. But again, try to have the majority of your money ready by October so that just in case if you decide to buy tickets in that first sales window, great, you can go ahead and start doing that. You can start organizing and purchasing your travel at that point as well. Of course, this is the application process, so we also don't know how fast the response for those applications will be. So again, a lot of variables involved here. But then at least have all of your money ready so that if that first sales phase is not successful for you, you don't get the tickets that you want, that second sales phase will probably happen. And here's my initial prediction for that in December of 2025, sometime right after the draw, you would assume, And so that's going to be during the Christmas period. That's going to be during Thanksgiving period, right? November, and for us in the United States, the holidays is going to be involved for all three countries. There's going to be a lot of spending that it's already going to be happening in those 3 months of the end of the year. Make sure that you have that extra stash of money that you have specifically for the World Cup put away. So in that way, these expenses that do naturally come because it's the holiday season do not hit you hard when you're also having to buy, ¿cómo se dice? El lechon asado, when you're buying, the gifts for the kids, you don't want all those expenses to pile on top of each other and you didn't have the money saved for those expenses, okay? So let's end the video there. Again, this is Travel Football Fan. I'm helping fans save money and travel to 2026 FIFA World Cup. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you click on the bell button so in that way you're notified of when I produce new videos and also when I go and do my impromptu live streams. I know I'm trying to get a more specific time organized for those. Now that I am not fully employed, and except I'm just coaching soccer right now, I will be doing those during the day. So if you can catch me on a stream, great, fantastic. We'll talk some football. Maybe I'll do it, while watching a game myself. But in the meantime, again, thank you so much for your support. We are at over 1,000 followers, but now we need the watch hours going. So, hágale a ver, watch my entire playlist. And again, thank you so much for your support. Ahí nos vemos.